If the internet were a zoo, goats would be the headline act. They scream like toddlers who've dropped their ice cream, collapse like soap opera extras, and somehow remain adorable while doing it. But behind every viral fainting goat clip or goat sings along to Taylor Swift video, there's genuine science and a surprising dose of compassion. So grab your metaphorical shepherd's crook and let's wander into the pasture of goat weirdness, where genetics, evolution, and pure chaos collide. The legend of the falling goat. Let's start with the goats that collapse at the slightest hint of excitement, the Tennessee fainting goats. Also known by less flattering nicknames like stiff-legged goats, wooden-leg goats, or nervous goats, they've been melting hearts and confusing scientists for over 2 centuries. But here's the plot twist. They're not actually fainting. When a Tennessee fainting goat topples over, it isn't swooning like a Victorian lady who's just spotted Mr. Darcy. What's really happening is a rare muscular condition called myotonia congenita, a genetic disorder that makes their muscles temporarily lock up when startled. Imagine tensing your legs to run away from danger, and then realizing your body's hit the pause button. The poor goat stiffens up, freezes, and sometimes keels over in dramatic slow motion. It's not fear, it's biology with a sense of humor, the science of the stiff leg shuffle. Here's how it works. Myotonia congenita affects skeletal muscles, the ones responsible for movement. When a goat with this condition contracts its muscles, say to bolt from a loud noise or a suspicious-looking plastic bag, those muscles don't relax right away. For about 5 to 20 seconds, they stay rigid, turning the goat into a furry, 4-legged statue. In 1930, the geneticist J.L. Lush described the effect with dry scientific flair. While in this condition, they can be pushed or turned over as if they were carved out of a single piece of wood. You could probably roll one down a hill and it would stay perfectly stiff the whole way. Thankfully, the goats don't lose consciousness, feel no lasting pain, and usually pop right back up, though they might look around as if to say, "Did anyone see that?" The only real danger is if they faint near a cliff, on a hill, or around an overly enthusiastic TikToker with a camera. Where did these goofy goats come from? The Tennessee fainting goat likely originated in, you guessed it, Tennessee, sometime in the early 1800s. But no one's entirely sure whether the myotonia gene mutation appeared spontaneously or was brought in through crossbreeding. Either way, farmers quickly discovered that these goats had one charming advantage. They were easy to contain. Unlike other goats, which are notorious escape artists capable of opening latches and climbing trees, fainting goats don't exactly make a dash for it. One sudden noise, and they're out of commission for 10 seconds, just long enough for a farmer to stroll over and say, "Not today, Houdini." Over time, breeders kept the trait alive, mostly out of fascination. The condition is recessive, meaning a goat needs 2 copies of the gene, one from each parent, to faint crossbreed a fainting goat with a regular one, and the next generation will run just fine. Humans can faint, too, kind of. Interestingly, myotonia congenita isn't unique to goats. Humans can have it too, though the results are far less meme-worthy. In people, the disorder shows up in 2 forms, Becker-type myotonia and Thompson disease. Both cause delayed muscle relaxation after movement, though humans don't usually keel over at loud noises. If they did, office fire drills would be chaos. These human cases help scientists study how electrical signals move through muscle fibers, and by extension, how similar mechanisms might be treated in other species. So yes, fainting goats aren't just funny, they're educationally valuable funny. So why the screaming? Now that we've covered the falling, let's tackle the screaming. Because goats aren't content to merely faint. They also sound like they're auditioning for a horror film. Viral videos have immortalized their bizarre bleats. Goats yelling like humans, goats singing along to pop songs, goats ruining otherwise peaceful farm footage. But the truth is, these dramatic vocalizations are just normal goat communication. Goats bleat to express themselves. It's their version of small talk, emotional outbursts, and toddler tantrums rolled into one. They might bleat when they're hungry, lonely, scared, or just feeling opinionated. Each goat has its own distinct voice, with unique tone, pitch, and rhythm, like a fingerprint made of noise. Some goats have deep, throaty bellows, while others sound eerily human. If you've ever watched one scream, "Ah," like a man in distress, that's just a particularly expressive bleat. Goats, the social talkers of the barnyard. A fascinating UK study on pygmy goats revealed that their calls actually change depending on who they hang out with. Researchers recorded groups of goat kids born in 2009 and 2010 and discovered something delightful. Goats raised together develop similar vocal accents. In other words, goats pick up local dialects. Move a pygmy goat to a new herd, and it might sound a little off, like someone from Texas suddenly dropped into a room full of Scots. This kind of vocal adaptation is rare in the animal kingdom and hints at surprisingly complex social intelligence. It's not just "bah," it's "Hey Gary, where's my hay?" in regional dialect, when screams become memes. Of course, once humans got hold of cameras and internet connections, goats didn't stand a chance. From looping GIFs of fainting goats to viral edits of goats singing Christmas carols, these animals became unwilling comedians for a global audience. One moment they're peacefully grazing, the next, they're part of a remix with Mariah Carey. But while the laughter is harmless enough, experts remind us to keep empathy in mind. A startled goat may look funny, but stress isn't great for them. Farmers and pet owners who keep myotonic goats often train them gently to reduce unnecessary frights. Still, the internet's affection for these creatures has arguably done them some good, raising awareness and funds for their care and turning a quirky genetic fluke into a global phenomenon of fascination. Fun facts to chew on, like a goat would. Despite their dramatic reputation, fainting goats don't actually faint. The term is misleading, as they remain fully conscious during their brief muscle stiffness episodes caused by myotonia congenita. Far from being fragile, they recover almost instantly and return to grazing as if nothing happened. When they're not momentarily frozen, these goats are agile jumpers, capable of climbing, leaping, and munching through a garden with impressive speed. Having been around for more than 200 years, the Tennessee fainting goat has thrived since the early 1800s, earning a reputation as a calm and charming farm companion whose gentle temperament and lack of wanderlust make it an excellent pet and even a popular show animal. Why we love them anyway. There's something irresistibly human about goats. They're clumsy, noisy, dramatic, and endlessly curious, like toddlers in fur coats. Maybe that's why we're so drawn to them. When a goat topples over mid-panic or belts out a sound that could win a karaoke contest, we see a bit of ourselves. Our overreactions, our awkwardness, our instinct to turn even mishaps into performance art. They remind us that nature has a sense of humor. That evolution sometimes produces a creature whose survival strategy seems to be look ridiculous and hope predators are too confused to attack. The gentle side of goat science. Behind all the memes, though, there's a deeper story about genetics, adaptation, and empathy. Myotonia congenita in goats has helped scientists better understand how muscle cells function, paving the way for medical research in humans. And studying goat communication has shed light on how animals learn socially and emotionally, areas once thought exclusive to primates. In short, goats are teaching us about ourselves, about biology, about behavior, and maybe about the importance of embracing our quirks. And that's it for today's wild dive into the world of fainting and screaming goats. If you enjoyed learning why these quirky creatures faint without actually fainting and scream like they're auditioning for a horror movie, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, even if life knocks you over, just get back up and keep grazing.